I have a project about Josef Stalin. Josef Stalin was the second leader of the Soviet Union. He was born 21 December 1879 in Georgia. Stalin's mother reported him into a seminary, but Stalin signed up quickly and joined the newly formed Social Democratic Party when he knew he would live by and fought policy life. He came to power by a brand of totalitarianism, relying on widespread propaganda and a secret police force to eliminate the opposition. He ruled from 1922 and then until his death in 1953. The Cold War was a divided world. The Soviet Union and the United States had both fought to defeat Germany. But then there arose another conflict between the United States and the Soviet Union. Both of the countries would affect the world in their own way. They looked at each other with fear and distrust. Measures of a country lead immediately to counter the other. Hence, relation between the two countries has been dubbed the Cold War. The Cold War came not only in Europe but also spread to Asia and Latin America. The Cold War lasted more than 45 years. The Soviet Union forced the countries to cooperate with them. That was the communist groove. East Europe had communist rule since the Soviet Union forced them to it. Western countries were upset over what happened. They saw the Soviet Union as a threat. It grew out a feeling of distrust between the West and East. In 1945, Germany lay in ruins. Millions of Germans were on the run. War victors USA, UK, France, and the Soviet Union. They agreed to divide the country into 4 zones. They would then have control of each zone. Berlin was also divided into 4 zones. The city lay in the Soviet zone. The deformation was surrounded by the Soviet Union on all sides. Germany had become a divided country, East Germany and West Germany. The Soviet zone was East Germany. Berlin had to share them with the other countries, as was the Soviet Union against those other countries. East Germany with people away from communism. In 1949 to 61, 2.7 million people fled to West Germany. In 1961, the government built in East Germany a wall that divided Berlin into 2. Berlin Wall became the symbol of the Cold War. The wall was more than 4 miles long, consists of brick and concrete, and it had barbed wire on top. Those who tried to escape from East Berlin were killed by guards. The United States and the Soviet Union had the most dangerous weapon in the world, nuclear bomb. Thus did the 2 superpowers competition to have the largest number of nuclear bombs. Both countries felt that this would frighten enemies from attacking. This relationship is called the balance of terror. Korea had been a Japanese colony since 1910. After World War II, the country was divided. The Soviet Union had the power in the north. The United United States gained power in the south. Korea is still a divided country. South of the USA is the island of Cuba, and in 1959 Fidel Castro took power on the island. USA did not like Castro rose to power and imposed socialism and nationalized banks, industries and plates to form as the USA made a trade blockade of Cuba. Then Castro chose to cooperate with Soviet Union. Soviet Union sent nuclear weapons to Cuba. This did not USA like. They said that if they didn't remove nuclear weapons, would USA attack? They removed the weapons. Then discovered the USA that Soviet Union had sent boats to Cuba with nuclear weapons. USA was ready for war. In just the last minute turned Soviet Union's boats, so it was fortunately not war. Vietnam was part of the Cold War. In 1945, Vietnam parted in two. North Vietnam was communist, while France continued to rule in the south. In 1963, John F. Kennedy got shot and died. Lyndon B. Johnson became president. He started a war against North Vietnam. The war in Vietnam was very bloody. They lost the war against Vietnam. In 1991, the Soviet Union dissolved as a state.